Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Tom Goncalves. I hope you all are having a nice weekend here in the Carolinas. Today I'm going to go over the article by Glenn Lopez entitled 10 Ways to Inspire Your Team. First one is solving, not just selling. Help show your employees their value to the end result. So what that means essentially is make them part of the collaborative process. Show them how their individual value builds upon that of the team in reaching its mission and its final objectives. When people understand their role or the importance of their role, there's a greater proclivity that they'll want to continue to do well as they feel empowered and valued. Two, purpose, not just profit. Employees want a manager who sees the big picture of the company for lasting impact. Stand for more than shareholder value, as Imperative 4 states in the article we discussed in the class, Creating the Best Workplace on Earth. And it gave a really good example about IKEA and the exploitation of child labor in this specific article. Nuts and bolts of the article was that obviously we're all familiar with IKEA, and they had a manufacturing plant that, unbeknownst to them at the time, was exploiting child labor to build the product. Once IKEA became cognizant of this, they ceased all activity pertaining to that, and they even took it a step further where they partnered up with UNICEF, and that really made a huge, bold statement and showed the world that IKEA will not stand for that kind of behavior. And that just speaks to the integrity of the company. And of course, the employees see that and they go, wow, I want to be a part of this company, as they have strong moral values. Three, know the ingredients, not just the recipe. Your title alone does not earn respect. Employees are most inspired when a leader gets to them. So just because you hold an inherent title doesn't mean you automatically command respect. Respect is earned. It is, so you need to remember that. And employees are most inspired when a leader gets to know them, get to know your team members, get to know what makes them tick. That's one of the beautiful things about diversity. No two people are equal. No two people have similar perspectives. Get to know what makes each member tick. And when you start being vulnerable with your team, you're going to see that those connections are going to be forged, and then trust ensues, and everyone's going to perform better. Four, learning, not just lecturing. Stop lecturing and start teaching. They want to learn. Let your employees do their job well, but become a facilitator to ensure they have all the resources needed for success. Give your employees objective feedback. So essentially, what the slide is telling us and the article is stop lecturing and start teaching. Your employees more than likely know how to do the job, so don't regurgitate old facts, and start teaching them. If you see an area of improvement or a deficiency, coach, mentor, work with them to work through that. And then part of your job as a manager, and this was something I struggled with from doing the task at hand to having multiple direct reports doing the tasks at hand, is to let, again, this piggybacks on the prior one, let them do the job, but make sure you as a facilitator provide them with the proper resources so they can get the task done. There's nothing more frustrating than being asked to do something and you don't have the tools required to accomplish the mission. And of course, give your employees objective feedback. Employees, they inherently want to grow, they want to learn, and by providing open and honest feedback, it gives them the opportunity to let them know, hey, these are areas where you excel, and hey, these are coaching areas where I think there's room for improvement here, and that's fine. I'll help you get to the next step. And that also helps in there as well as your self-awareness process. 5, innovation, not just ideation. Include your team in the innovation process to bring change. Recognize resources they will need. Innovation yields better performance. Allow them to elevate their value. So essentially, have your team become a part of, and everyone collaborates together to bring forth the change needed. If your teammates feel like they hold value and they are being brought into the brainstorming process of an area where there's needed room for improvement for operational excellence, they're going to feel valued, like their opinion matters, like the boss actually brought me in here to get my perspective on it. That's neat. And obviously, like the prior slide mentioned, you want to recognize what resources are needed to get the task done. And innovation does yield better performance, allows the employees to think outside the box and come up with new creative ways to get the job done that's perhaps more efficient. And then by doing so and having them engage in this innovation process, you're helping them elevate their value via professional growth and development. 6, significance, not just success. Activate employee natural talents, similar to imperative 3, which was magnify employee strengths in creating the best workplace on earth. And that basically is saying that we all have leadership shadows and deficiencies, and let's say an employee is really great at report writing. However, there's needed room for improvement in analytics or public speaking. You would work with the employee, maybe get them enrolled in public speaking classes to make them the best version of themselves possible, to help optimize their performance, because when they do well, you as a manager do well, because your success is contingent upon the success of your team members. And then you show them the measured significance of their success, paint an image. Let's say you work in a sales environment and your teammate hits 90% of their quota. That's a great statistic. And then paint a picture for them. Because you hit your sales metric, this yields to X amount of increase, or we're allowed these additional resources for the team office, so they can kind of itemize and visualize, like, oh wow, it paints that picture to them. 7, ownership, not just accountability. Granting employees ownership of tasks increases trust and empowers them to do their best work. Allow employees to champion tasks, however, lay out final expectations for the assignment. So essentially, ownership, not just accountability. When you give employees ownership of a task, it's telling them that, hey, I am confiding and I trust in you to get this task done. I'm confident you can do it. Let me know what resources you need to get this task done. And by doing that, you're giving them more responsibilities and duties, but 99% of the time, they're going to feel so empowered that, hey, the boss is confiding in me. He believes I can do this. I don't want to let him down. He may have went on a limb giving me all this responsibility and putting my name in the hat. I want everyone to do well. That performance is going to flourish as a result of that. And plus, you increase the trust factor with your team. And again, you allow them to spearhead the task, but you as a manager, being the facilitator, you need to make sure they have the proper resources. Because again, there's nothing more frustrating than being asked to do something and you don't have the proper tools to get the job done. Respect, not just recognition. Go beyond good job. Admire and respect their work. Be authentic when you're admiring and respecting their work. Don't just say good job, and walk away. Like, actually show a ventured interest in their work, and you will gain respect. Too many employees get caught up in earning recognition rather than earning one's respect. Respect is ultimately what you're looking for, because respect involves trust. And as we know, trust is a pivotal ingredient for leadership to motivate, inspire, and influence their team to get the job done and increase employee morale. Personal growth, not just responsibility. A leader must foster the professional growth of team members. Professional growth helps performance flourish. You need to mentor and coach your team to success. And remember, us as managers, our success is indeed contingent upon the success of our direct reports. 10, trust, not just transparency. A leader must believe in their team. Trust inspires the team to perform optimally. This plays into the warmth factor we read in the article Connect and Lead, where warmth and trust are prerequisites to influence your team.